What's going on, guys? My name is Ilya Kosilov, also known as Ilya Kos, the Investor Cop. I'm a real estate entrepreneur and investor. And in today's video, I want to talk about cash buyers versus retail buyers. So let's jump right into it. Now that the market's opening back up, there's a lot more retail buyers, right? And you may be wondering, what's retail? If you're not in this industry, you might be asking yourself, what's a retail buyer? Retail buyers are people who are going to buy this property to live in. Cash buyers are typically investors who are going to buy this property and fix it and rent and flip it, or fix it and rent it. So let's just jump into it. I want to discuss what's the difference, the main difference, so you can pick the right buyer for your project, the property that you have under contract, or the property you actually own, right? So cash buyers versus retail. Let's start with cash, right? Let's talk about all the benefits about working with cash buyers. Usually with cash buyers, they don't do an inspection. They just do a walkthrough. Which helps you because unlike no inspections for cash buyers, retailers, they do inspections. Now, if you ever bought a property, whenever someone's doing an inspection and you know the property needs some work and it's a handyman special, you're biting your nails because you're like, oh man, they're gonna beat me down on the price. Maybe there's a lot more things, issues with this property. You're gonna be kind of nervous. So the benefit of working with the cash buyers, they don't do an inspection, so you're good to go. They're satisfied based on their walkthrough. With a retail person, they will do an inspection. They might come back to you and say, hey, look, this is a lot worse condition than we initially thought. We didn't realize there was mold, the stairs are broken, or there's an issue with the roof. Whatever may be will be discovered during that inspection. And those inspections typically cost anywhere from $250 to $500. I've seen it go up to as high as $500. So that's one thing. As far as cash buyers, there's no banks. So since there is no bank, this means that you could have a lot faster closing. Your buyer is able to close in 2 weeks, a week, a day. As long as the title work is clear and we have it clear to close, the no bank is also there. So the benefit here is quick close. Yeah, they do. They're gonna get a bank's appraisal. And what does that mean, you may ask? It means that the bank has to go inside the property, evaluate the property, and then run his comparables, what has sold and what's actively selling on the open market. So this way they can see, hey, is this property really worth $150? You're buying this thing for $150, is it worth it? And what I've seen from my experience, 90% of the times they'll come back with the price that you're selling, and then other times they'll say, hey, we didn't see this property appraising that high. It's actually lower by 5,000, by 10,000, which could be a problem, right? Because if you're selling a house for, let's say, $100,000, I'll put 100K, and then only price at 95, and the bank is only lending you 95,000. So you just lost 5,000 because it didn't appraise at that value. Now, obviously, you can do something creative. Try to see if you could put a second note on this thing to make the difference of 5,000, if possible. But that's the big, and since you're not working with an investor, this is a retail person. When you're going to explain what I just said, to put a second mortgage, second note, they may get confused and say, what are you talking about? We're not doing that. The bank said it's worth 95, and that's what we're staying at. So, quick closing. Next thing. Since they are paying you cash, you're going to get lower offers. And that's common sense. Because they're giving you that cash, there is no banks, there is no inspection, the offer is always lower. So if you have a project that you're about to flip, property that you have under contract and you're about to assign, their offer is going to be much lower. because you don't have to worry about these issues that may come up during the purchase process. So that's expected. Typically $20,000 to $50,000 lower than the retail. The benefit with the retail is their offers, they're going to be much higher. And why do you think that is? It's because these people don't live there. Most of them are first-time home buyers, second-time home buyers. They're moving to the area and they like the neighborhood and they're willing to buy this property and you live in it, right? Even if it's not fully fixed up, even if there's an inspection and some things are minor, they don't mind those things. They'll live there, they'll pay you more than this person would, and they want to raise their family. This is going to be home for them. For cash buyer investors, those cash offers that we receive, for them it's all strictly business, right? Hey, I have to make this amount of money in this amount of time, and I'm moving on to the next one. Here, there's people have emotions that they affiliate with the property, and they're envisioning maybe raising their family. It's a good school district, it's a perfect backyard, what have you. This is why they have a higher offer. What else? Let me say this, the closing, getting back to the closing, it can be done as quick as 5 days. Plus, this one takes typically about 45 days to close. Because by the time you get the appraisal, the inspection, and the clear to close from title, and they give you a thumbs up from the lender's side, it typically takes about 45 days. I've seen them close a mortgage out in 30 days, but on average it's 45 days. With the cash offer, it's about 5 days. Now, you as an investor, if you're getting started or if you're already doing business, who do you go with? That's completely up to you. Depending on your time frame, depends how much time you have. Let's say if you're wholesaling it and it's going to take 45 days and your contract's only for 2 weeks, there's no way you can go to a retail buyer. There's no way. The contract's going to expire and your seller's going to walk. Now, if you're going to go with a cash buyer, obviously it's going to work. Why do I like cash buyers? There's a lot of benefits, right? Quick closing, no inspections, straight to the point. I know what I'm getting right away. Why do I like retail buyers? Because they overpay. I should just probably put it here. High offer, sometimes they'll even overpay. Especially if you get a cash retail buyer, that is the ultimate combo, right? They're gonna have both of these merged. There's gonna be no inspections, no bank appraisals, and it's a quick close. Let me tell you a quick story about a cash retail situation that I came across in New York. I had a property that I got on the contract for, it was $35,000. It was just studs, right? But it was in a very good neighborhood, and people love that area. ARV for this thing was, which means after repair value, was about $350,000. It needed another $80,000 in work to bring it up to that $350,000. But for 35 cents, it was $35,000. Actually had the house listed, because when I reached out to my cash buyers, the offers were, they gave me offers at 45 to 55. I said, hey, this is a really good area. Let's do something creative here, right? I'm sure a lot of people would want to move in here, live here. Maybe we could find somebody who owns a construction company, a renovation company. And that's exactly what happened. The person reached out to us. He initially made an offer at $70,000 when I had this thing on the 35, and they kept bidding up because they loved the area, they loved the house. He had a construction company and he's gonna renovate it and live there with his family. Great school districts, it's close to his family. So because he was a cash retail buyer, he ended up bidding, check this out, $133,000, right? For this property that we had at $35,000. Now, this is a home run deal. That was a straight up assignment deal. And if you're able to find a cash retail buyer, they'll close quick and they'll overpay because they want to live in that area, right? The spread in this was incredible. So keep an eye out on those local companies that may you consider buying a property. Keep an eye out, right? Obviously there's no way you know, but you market to them and they get the feedback. Because you might get lucky and come across somebody who is willing to overpay because they like the area and they have cash. Yeah, and we closed this thing in about 2 weeks. It was incredible, right? So I hope you guys got some value here. You learned the difference between cash and retail, and you're able to apply this in your business, in your transactions. I want to see you guys win. Appreciate it, and stay tuned for the next one.